And this is the most phenomenal event site on the planet. We're coming up to our Blue Angel Atrium, which knits together the south wing we're in and the west wing. And this is the most phenomenal event site on the planet. You've been here, you've signed autographs here. We've had changes of command, retirements, promotions. It is a wonderful place for a military ceremony. We even had a Gary Sinise concert here. You may remember his role as Lieutenant Dan Taylor in Forrest Gump changed Sinise's life. And he founded a nonprofit, Lieutenant Dan Band, because he's a pretty accomplished pianist. So we actually had a Sinise concert here, Lieutenant Dan Band, had 2,300 people. Much to the chagrin of the base fire marshal, but it's the largest event we've had here. It's a great event.
So you were talking about the volunteers. If somebody comes in here and they want to learn more about the airplane, can they take a tour?
They can. We have tours that go periodically, several times a day, and our volunteers have forgotten more about naval aviation than you and I know. It's very, very impressive, and it's such a great story to tell. In this Blue Angel Atrium, and you see the 4A4 Skyhawks representing the diamond, but there's some other neat airplanes here. This Stearman, it was flown by George Herbert Walker Bush in training.
Wow. That exact airplane.
That exact airplane. 41 flew that, and as mentioned, he was one of the youngest naval aviators in World War II before he went on to become.
One thing I want to capture real quick, that's the beauty right there. Live, well, officers in training. Like, that's what makes this place so unique and so beautiful, is it's alive.
I appreciate you acknowledging that, because while it's great putting 750,000 civilians to the front door, the young men and women that are starting their Navy career, we owe it to them to teach them about this organization, this livelihood that they're part of. My deputy director and historian will show you a little bit later about how we do that. We have operationalized this museum, and for good reason. Your tax dollars are paying for this museum, so we want to provide warfighting benefit to the Department of the Navy. So we take the rich 112-year history of naval aviation and some of those great stories. We'll break out Neil Armstrong's training record and point out the first person to walk on the moon routinely got below averages in flight school. Not that Neil Armstrong's a bad pilot, but naval aviation is this relentless pursuit of excellence.
So as we see these future officers and future pilots here, future navigators, weapon system operators, I mean, we have every version of front seat and back seat pilot to come through.
We do, and you'll note, that's not a Navy class right there. That is the United States Air Force, because in addition to training our naval flight officers here at Pensacola, the Air Force trains its combat systems officers, the men and women that are going to be in the B-2s, B-1s, the surveillance airplanes, F-15Es, all done right here in Pensacola.
Are these voluntary, or are these actual syllabus courses that the museum puts on for the future aviation?
These are syllabus courses. We worked with Schools Command, because they used to teach, when you start flight school, you do a thing, we used to call it Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination. It's now called NIFE, Naval Introductory Flight Evaluation. As you remember, there's navigation, there's aerodynamics, there's engines, there's meteorology. But there's a 3-hour history course that we now teach in the museum, where we'll break out those artifacts, Neil Armstrong's training jacket as an example, and we'll show you some of those artifacts later and tell you how we tell this remarkable story of naval aviation.
I wish that our viewers could see what the power of this is, to sit underneath the Blue Angel Diamond with the A4.
Well, this is...
I mean, I remember being a kid right up there. You know, my dad took a picture and I literally was holding the airplane up as a 3rd grader. And now to be here, fully retired, seeing the same exact airplanes hanging, it's special and just nostalgic to me, let alone you and everybody else that's come through here.
Well, this is an impactful space, and with the possible exception of the Arizona Memorial, I view it as one of the most impactful venues in the Department of the Navy. And we're very, very proud to do it. And And the great thing about these public events we have here, whether it's a change of command, a graduation, a winging ceremony, which is really, really neat, the public can watch it, can come in and they see how their tax dollars are
That is
being spent.
extremely unique, and I think that is
awesome.
very special to this place and this place alone.